All right, today we're jumping into an absolutely wild story about family, money, and one of the most calculated, jaw dropping acts of revenge I think I've ever heard of. Seriously, this isn't your typical family spat. This is about a cold, hard reckoning delivered at the best or maybe worst possible moment.
So picture this. You're at your sister's wedding. It's a big, beautiful reception. Everything's in full swing. Your parents, just beaming with pride, they walk over to you and they say those 7 little words. We gave her your fund. Just like that. The money you saved, the nest egg for your future, yeah, it's gone. It paid for this whole part.
No, really, just think about it for a second. What's your move? Do you scream? Do you start crying? Do you cause a massive scene and ruin the wedding? I mean, most of us probably would, right? But the woman in this story, she did something completely different. Something she'd planned for weeks. And honestly, it was way more devastating. Okay, so the setting here is it's everything. We're at the sister's lavish, super expensive wedding reception. This is supposed to be the family's big, happy moment, but the whole thing is built on a secret, a betrayal. And this is exactly where our narrator decides to make her move. And this is the part that gets me every time. She hears this life-altering news, and there's no big emotional outburst, nothing. Instead, she just gives her parents this calm, polite little smile. That complete lack of a normal reaction is what's so chilling, and it totally sets the stage for the real shocker that's about to drop. She's holding this nicely wrapped gift, right? But it is not a wedding present. It's a professionally prepared legal audit of her family's entire financial history with her. This document, this is her response, her argument, and her weapon, all rolled into one. And to really get why she did this, we thought to rewind a. So how in the world did we get here? Well, this whole thing didn't just happen out of the blue. The seeds for this wedding day showdown, they were planted a few weeks before over a pretty normal family dinner. This is it. This is the moment of betrayal. Her parents just casually let her know that her entire life savings, her wedding fund, has been taken, or as they put it, reallocated. I mean, what a word for it, right? They used it to pay for her sister's big day. No discussion, they didn't ask, they just told her it was done. Now, you might be asking, why would any parent do that? To get it, you have to understand the family dynamic. The sister is the classic golden child. You know the type, the favorite, the one who can do no wrong, who's put on a pedestal. And that means their needs, their wants, they always come first, usually at someone else's expense. And this just lays it all out plain and simple. This is that dynamic in action. One daughter gets the wedding of her dreams, and it's paid for by the other daughter's future. The unfairness is it's right there. It's so clear. And it's this long history of being treated this way that pushes our narrator to do what she does next. So, when she's faced with this massive injustice, she doesn't get mad. She gets methodical. This next part is all about how she flips the script, going from being a victim to a quiet, strategic, and, frankly, brilliant planner. And here's what's so interesting. Her job, she works in a field like finance or healthcare, gave her this incredible advantage. Think about it. She's trained to be meticulous, to rely on evidence, to document everything. So she takes those professional skills and applies them directly to her personal crisis. I mean, just look at this strategy. It is a masterclass in how to handle a situation like this. She knows fighting and yelling will get her nowhere, so she just avoids it completely. Instead, she quietly starts pulling together years of bank statements, emails, texts, documenting every single loan that was never repaid, every expense they pushed onto her. And the final step? She hires a professional to turn all that evidence into an ironclad legal document. And here's the core of it all. She understood that in her family, her feelings were basically worthless. They could be dismissed. But hard evidence, a ledger of debts, that is a lot harder to argue with. She chose facts over feelings. Which brings us right back to that wedding reception. The band is playing, people are laughing and celebrating, and our narrator is standing right there in front of her parents holding that meticulously prepared gift. The moment of truth has finally arrived. She hands them the audit, and when they open it, they see it's not just about the wedding fund. Oh no. As you can see here, it's a detailed history of years of financial exploitation. A university loan they made her take out for them, a car down payment they borrowed and just never paid back. And now, the final, biggest blow, the wedding fund. It's a whole pattern of behavior laid out in black and white. And you know, the audit did so much more than just list what she was owed.
It exposed the whole truth. Not only had they been siphoning money from her for years, but it also revealed that the family was in serious financial trouble. This lavish wedding, it wasn't a sign of success. It was a performance, and it was funded by debt and betrayal.
So this whole story is way more than just some shocking family drama. It's really a case study in betrayal, and it leaving us with some pretty powerful lessons about boundaries, family, and what justice really looks like. When you boil it all down, the ledger teaches us a few huge lessons. First, that financial boundaries aren't just for business, they are absolutely critical for protecting yourself, even from your own family. Second, when you're in a conflict and nobody's listening to you, documentation can become your voice. And finally, it proves that sometimes the strongest response isn't yelling and screaming, it's a cold, calculated presentation of the facts. And let's be really clear about this. Her goal here probably wasn't even to get the money back. She likely knew the chances of that were slim to none. The real point of the ledger was to force accountability. It was about holding up a giant, undeniable mirror to her family and saying, look, this is what you did, these are the numbers, you cannot deny this anymore. And that really leaves us with a tough question to chew on, doesn't it? When the very people who are supposed to love and support you are the ones who betray you, what do you actually owe them? What does justice even look like? The woman in this story, she chose a path of undeniable, documented truth. It was a brutal choice, for sure. But in her situation, it might have been the only choice that actually mattered.